Hello, and welcome to part 2 of how to set up a controller with Laguna software in Rainmaster's series of Laguna training videos. Now return to the controller setup menu and review the 4 separate tabs along the bottom of the controller setup menu. Under flow options, it is possible to set up flow meters. Select the checkbox and select the type of flow meter from the drop-down list. The K and offset values will differ based on the type of flow meter selected. Pro tip: the checkbox for flow sensors does not enable and disable flow sensors. If checked, the K and offset values will be sent to the controller when the settings are downloaded. Enter values for the main flow line limit, the unscheduled flow limit, and the flow check delay. These are useful for setting and tripping controller alarms, as well as preventing water wastage in the event of a leak. The mainline flow limit is the number in gallons per minute that the flow in the main line shall not exceed. If calculated flow ever exceeds this number, an alert triggers, suspending all irrigation until cleared. The number should be set to a value higher than the flow if all simultaneous stations are on, but lower than if there is a main line break. The unscheduled flow limit is the flow tolerated when no irrigation activity is scheduled. If there is unscheduled flow, then there is a leak somewhere in your irrigation system. Lastly, let's explain flow check delay. When a valve is first activated, the initial flow rate may be significantly higher or lower than the valve's steady state. This may be due to drainage of water lines, waiting for water pump, or other. This initial flow rate could therefore trigger an alert prematurely. Under flow limit and current limit, users can choose to enable minimum, maximum limit checking. These limits are defined per station at the controller faceplate or from the controller flow limits menu in the Laguna software. If the flow or current exceeds or goes below the maximum or minimum defined limits, an alarm will be generated and all irrigation operations affected by the alarm will be halted until the issue has been resolved. Use monthly water limit to manage total water use by month and prevent irrigation when water limits exceed set limits. Now, let's review the Omit by Date tab. Users can select the dates on which irrigation will not occur. It is possible to choose from the list of holidays or choose particular dates from the date picker. Pro tip: it is advised to save and send the Omit by Dates list to the controller at least once a year in order to update the dates of holidays. Under the MV Type tab, you may choose to set master valves as either normally open or normally closed. For a DX2 controller, the master valves types are set by default and cannot be modified. For a DX3 controller, the master valve types can be modified by the user. After all the properties have been set up for the new controller, we are done. Click Apply, then Save and Send to download the properties to the controller. Then click OK. Lastly, let's talk about upgrading from an Evolution or DX2 controller to a DX3 controller. Either click the icon on the map of the controller and select the setup from the pop-up dialog box, or go to Setup Controller, and at the controller setup form, be sure the desired controller is selected in the drop-down menu. Under controller type, select Evolution DX3 and adjust the station capacity, max GPM, and max stations on as necessary. Click OK when done. We should point out, when upgrading a controller at the Laguna computer, the controller cannot be restored to its original configuration. The upgrade process cannot be undone. We strongly advise you to make a backup of the current database before upgrading. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Rainmaster YouTube channel to receive updates on future video releases for Laguna software.